What if everything the Dupree family built was about to crumble in a single night? In today's episode, a shocking betrayal at Nicole and Ted's anniversary celebration will change the family forever. And Dani makes a decision that no one saw coming, not even herself. In the closing moments of episode 40, tensions reached a breaking point. Anita Dupree received that mysterious phone call from her past, a recording contract offer that could pull her back into the spotlight she left decades ago. We watched as her hands trembled while Vernon slept unaware beside her. Meanwhile, Bill's medical practice faced a potential lawsuit when a patient claimed malpractice, threatening everything he's built. And in perhaps the most consequential moment, Dani made that impulsive decision to pull Chelsea's funding for her fashion line, leaving her daughter devastated and their relationship hanging by a thread. As the episode closed, we saw Chelsea making a secretive phone call to someone we couldn't identify, whispering those ominous words, "You were right about my mother. I'm ready to do what we discussed." As episode 41 opens, each member of the Dupree family finds themselves at a crossroads, their emotions raw and their futures uncertain. Anita Dupree, the former singing sensation turned family matriarch, stands in her expansive walk-in closet, fingers tracing over a sequined gown she hasn't worn in 20 years. The offer to record again has awakened something she thought was long buried, a hunger for the spotlight, for the validation that comes with applause. Yet fear grips her too. Fear that at 65 her voice won't hold the same power, that the industry will reject her, that Vernon won't understand this need she can barely articulate herself. The episode opens with her alone in that closet, softly singing a melody from her past, unaware that Vernon has paused in the doorway, listening with a complex mixture of pride and concern. Vernon Dupree, the retired senator and family patriarch, carries himself with the practiced dignity of a man who's navigated Washington's corridors of power. But behind closed doors, we see his vulnerability. He fears irrelevance in retirement, worries about his legacy, both political and familial. More than anything, he fears losing Anita to a world he was never fully part of. The episode finds him watching his wife with loving eyes that can't quite hide his apprehension. When she turns and sees him, their silent exchange speaks volumes about a marriage built on compromise that may face its greatest test. Dr. Nicole Dupree Richardson, the accomplished psychiatrist and philanthropist, wakes beside her husband Ted on what should be a joyful day, their 15th anniversary. But her eyes betray a restlessness. She fears that her perfect life is just that, too perfect, too predictable. She craves the passion that once defined her relationship with Ted, wondering if planning their anniversary gala has become more important than the marriage it celebrates. As morning light filters through their bedroom, we see her checking her phone, scrolling past dozens of congratulatory messages with a hollow smile that doesn't reach her eyes. Ted Richardson, Nicole's husband and successful attorney, has built his career defending the wealthy residents of their gated community. But lately, he's questioned whether his work has meaning beyond the substantial paychecks. He fears becoming exactly what his father warned him against, a man who defends privilege rather than challenging it. The episode opens with him watching Nicole from the bathroom doorway, a small velvet box containing an anniversary gift hidden behind his back, wondering if the surprise he's planned will reignite what feels increasingly distant between them. Danielle Dani Dupree, the former model turned momager, sits alone on her patio as dawn breaks, the consequences of cutting off Chelsea's funding weighing heavily. She fears she's repeating her mother's controlling patterns, yet believes tough love is necessary for her daughter's growth. What she fears most is losing Chelsea entirely. The episode finds her staring at her phone, Chelsea's smiling profile picture on the screen as she debates making the call that might mend or further fracture their relationship. Chelsea Dupree, young and ambitious, wakes in a small apartment we've never seen before, clearly not her luxury condo. Her eyes are red from crying, but there's a new hardness there too. She fears following in her mother's footsteps, becoming successful but ultimately unhappy. Yet she also fears failing on her own terms. As the episode opens, we see her sketching furiously, redesigning her fashion line with a new edge that seems bore from her anger, while occasionally glancing at the business card beside her, belonging to Anita's former manager, Marcus Wells. Bill Richardson, Nicole's brother and respected doctor, sits in his darkened office before hours, reviewing the patient file that could end his career. He fears losing everything he's worked for, but more deeply, he fears confirming his secret suspicion that he may have actually made the mistake he's being accused of. The episode finds him with his head in his hands, jumping slightly when his phone buzzes with a text from his wife. Coming home tonight? Doug Dupree, Vernon and Anita's youngest son and the family's financial advisor, stands at his office window overlooking the Washington Monument in the distance. Unlike his siblings, Doug has always operated in the shadows, making moves that benefit him first. He fears being exposed, particularly now that he's pursuing an investment opportunity that skirts ethical boundaries. The episode opens with him on a call, speaking in hushed tones. The Richardsons' anniversary party is tonight. Everyone who matters will be there. It's the perfect time. As these characters move through the opening scenes, their paths begin to converge toward the evening's main event, Nicole and Ted's anniversary celebration. Each carries their own secrets, desires, and fears into what should be a night of celebration, unaware that by morning, nothing will be the same. The morning sun casts long shadows across the Dupree estate as Anita descends the grand staircase, finding Vernon in his study, reviewing Charity Foundation documents. Their exchange seems ordinary. Discussions about the day ahead, the evening's anniversary celebration for Nicole and Ted. But undercurrents of tension flow beneath their practiced domesticity. When Vernon casually mentions hearing her sing that morning, Anita's fingers pause on her coffee cup. Just remembering old times, she dismisses, but Vernon's knowing gaze suggests he senses more. 15 years they've been married, he reflects about Nicole and Ted. Makes you think about the choices that shape a life, doesn't it? The question hangs between them, loaded with unspoken meaning. Across town, Dani arrives at her PR firm, brushing past her assistant who trails behind with meeting reminders. She pauses at Chelsea's empty desk. Her daughter normally interns 3 days a week. The absence is a physical reminder of their rift. When her assistant mentions a call from Marcus Wells, Anita's former manager, Dani's expression hardens. Block his number, she instructs, and find out who else he's been calling. Her suspicion that Marcus might be contacting Chelsea directly is confirmed when her assistant hesitates just a moment too long before nodding. The scene shifts to Nicole's private practice where she's finishing a session with a patient struggling with perfectionism. The irony isn't lost as Nicole offers insights that clearly apply to her own life. Sometimes what looks like perfection from the outside is actually a prison we build ourselves. After the patient leaves, Nicole opens her desk drawer, removing a small journal. We glimpse entries dating back 15 years, her private thoughts about her marriage. The most recent entry reads simply, "Is this all there is?" She quickly closes it when her receptionist announces Ted has arrived with lunch, a surprise anniversary tradition. Ted enters with takeout from the restaurant where they had their first date. The gesture is sweet, but their conversation feels rehearsed, comfortable yet lacking spark. When Ted mentions the anniversary party that evening, Nicole brightens artificially. "Everyone's coming. It'll be perfect," she assures him. Ted studies her a moment before asking, "Is that what you want?" "Perfect?" Before she can answer, his phone rings, a client emergency he needs to handle. As he leaves, he kisses her cheek and promises, "Tonight will be special. I have something planned." Nicole's smile fades as the door closes behind him. Meanwhile, Bill meets with his lawyer regarding the malpractice suit. The conversation is grim. The patient's claims have merit, and settling might be the only way to avoid losing his license. "I need to know the truth, Bill," his lawyer presses. "Did you miss the symptoms?" Bill's hesitation speaks volumes. "I was distracted," he finally admits. "My marriage was falling apart that week." The lawyer sighs, making notes. "Personal problems aren't a defense in malpractice." As Bill leaves the office, he calls his estranged wife, getting her voicemail again. His message is simple: I need you at Nicole's party tonight, for appearance's sake, if nothing else. The scene transitions to Chelsea in a small design studio we've never seen before. The space is industrial, raw, nothing like the polished atelier her mother helped set up. Marcus Wells sits across from her, reviewing her redesigned collection. This has edge, he approves. Anger looks good on your designs. Chelsea's smile is bitter. Turns out getting cut off was the best thing for my creativity. Marcus slides a contract across the table. My contacts are ready to back you. No strings attached. Chelsea's hand hovers over the document. My mother will see this as a betrayal, she acknowledges. Marcus's response is cutting. Isn't that what she did to you? Chelsea signs with determination, but as Marcus leaves to make copies, we see her uncertainty. Doug Dupree conducts business from his sleek downtown office, speaking in coded language about an investment opportunity. The conversation suggests something ethically questionable, possibly illegal. When his associate mentions potential investors at the anniversary party, Doug cautions discretion. My family doesn't know about this venture. Let's keep it that way. After ending the call, he opens his safe, removing documents labeled Westland Development and a flash drive. His assistant interrupts to remind him about the anniversary party. Your mother called twice to confirm you were bringing Sophia. Doug's expression tightens. Tell Sophia to meet me there and clear my schedule tomorrow. I might need to handle some family fallout. As evening approaches, we see the transformation of the Richardson home into a celebration venue. Nicole supervises last-minute details with practiced precision, while Ted watches from the doorway, the small velvet box now in his pocket. When Nicole snaps at a caterer for a minor mistake, Ted approaches, gently taking her hands. Hey, it doesn't have to be perfect. Nicole's composure cracks slightly. Yes, it does. Everyone expects it to be. Ted's response is tender. I don't. I just expect us to be us. The moment of connection is genuine but brief, interrupted by the arrival of the first guests. The anniversary celebration unfolds in elegant splendor. Vernon and Anita arrive first, presenting Nicole and Ted with a painting from their favorite gallery. Bill arrives alone, immediately reaching for champagne. Doug enters with Sophia, a woman clearly uncomfortable with the family dynamics she's witnessing. Chelsea arrives last, her entrance causing a stir, her new design aesthetic evident in her bold attire. Dani's shock at seeing her daughter is quickly masked with social grace, but the tension between them electrifies the room. As dinner progresses, conversations splinter into smaller groups. Anita finds herself seated beside Marcus Wells, whose unexpected presence clearly unsettles her. Quite a coincidence you being here, she observes coolly. Marcus smiles. Not really. I represent Chelsea now. The news hits Anita like a physical blow, her eyes darting to Dani across the table, who remains oblivious to this development. She's talented, Marcus continues. Reminds me of another young woman I once knew, before she let family obligations dim her light. Anita's response is measured but pointed. That young woman grew up, Marcus. She found things more valuable than applause. Meanwhile, Vernon engages Ted in conversation about a sensitive legal matter involving the family foundation. Their hushed tones draw Nicole's attention, but she's distracted by Bill's increasingly obvious intoxication. When Bill loudly references his failing marriage, Nicole pulls him aside. Their sibling exchange is heated, but hushed. Get it together, Nicole hisses. Your problems are your own, but not tonight. Bill's response cuts deep. Always perfect, Nicole. Tell me, does Ted know you've been thinking about leaving? Nicole's shocked expression confirms Bill's shot in the dark hit its mark. The evening reaches its climax when Ted calls for everyone's attention, raising a toast to Nicole. His speech is heartfelt, chronicling their 15 years together with genuine emotion. As he concludes, he reveals his surprise. Not just the diamond necklace from the velvet box, but an announcement. Nicole has always dreamed of opening a mental health center for underserved communities, he tells the gathered guests. Tonight, I'm announcing the purchase of the Westland property to make that dream a reality. The announcement sends shockwaves through the room. Doug's champagne glass slips from his fingers, shattering on the floor. The Westland property is clearly central to his secret venture. Dani notices Chelsea and Marcus exchanging knowing glances. Vernon studies Anita's reaction to Marcus with growing concern. And Nicole, rather than showing joy at Ted's grand gesture, appears stricken. In the chaotic moments that follow, several confrontations unfold simultaneously. Doug pulls Ted aside, urgently questioning the Westland purchase details. Dani confronts Chelsea about Marcus, while Chelsea defiantly announces her new independent fashion line. Bill, now thoroughly drunk, makes a scene about his malpractice suit, publicly admitting his mistake. And in the midst of it all, Nicole slips away to the garden, overwhelmed by Ted's gesture and its implications. A decades-long commitment to a dream she's no longer sure she wants. Ted finds Nicole alone among the roses. Their conversation starts softly, but quickly escalates as 15 years of unspoken feelings surface. You made this decision without me, Nicole accuses. Ted's frustration boils over. Because you've been absent from our marriage for months. The raw honesty of their exchange strips away pretense. Nicole finally admits her restlessness, her feeling of being trapped in a perfect life that doesn't fulfill her. Ted reveals his own fears, that he's losing her, that he's not enough. Their argument reaches a crescendo when Nicole confesses, "Sometimes I wonder if we made a mistake." The hurt in Ted's eyes is palpable as he responds, "Which part was the mistake? Loving you?" Inside, Anita finds herself cornered by Marcus, who reveals he has the recording contract with him. One signature, he urges. One chance to reclaim what you gave up. Vernon witnesses this exchange from across the room, his expression unreadable. When Anita hesitates, Marcus plays his final card. Chelsea signed with me today. You could mentor her, guide her through the industry, be the mother Dani is failing to be. The manipulation works. Anita takes the contract, promising to consider it. As the party disintegrates, Dani makes a desperate attempt to reconnect with Chelsea, following her outside. Their confrontation is heart-wrenching. Years of complicated mother-daughter dynamics exploding in accusations and tears. You're trying to control my life just like Grandma did to you, Chelsea cries. Dani's response is equally emotional. I'm trying to protect you from my mistakes. The breakthrough comes when Chelsea asks simply, what if they're my mistakes to make? Dani's resistance crumbles, and in a pivotal moment, she offers what Chelsea has always wanted. Show me your new designs, the real ones, not what you think I want to see. The episode reaches its emotional peak as these various confrontations resolve in unexpected ways. Nicole and Ted, emotionally exhausted, reach a fragile truce, agreeing their marriage needs work, not abandonment. Doug discovers his Westland development scheme has been exposed, with Vernon quietly revealing he's been aware of Doug's unethical dealings for months. Bill, sobered by his public admission, receives an unexpected call from his wife, who heard about his confession and is willing to talk. And Anita, contract in hand, seeks out Chelsea and Dani, finding them reconciling over Chelsea's portfolio. The final scenes show the aftermath of the party. Guests have departed, leaving the family to process the evening's revelations. In a powerful moment, Anita gathers everyone in the living room and makes her announcement. She's considering returning to music, but only if the family supports her decision. The response is varied. Vernon's concern, Nicole's surprise, Dani's understanding, Chelsea's excitement. But it's Doug who delivers the episode's final emotional punch, his own crisis making him unexpectedly insightful. We're all trapped by who we think we should be. Maybe it's time we all got a little braver about who we actually are. As dawn breaks, we see each character reflecting on the night's events. Ted and Nicole sit in silent companionship on their porch, hands tentatively finding each other. Bill leaves a heartfelt message for his patient, taking full responsibility for his error. Doug begins the process of untangling his failed scheme. Dani helps Chelsea pack her designs for a meeting with legitimate investors. And Vernon finds Anita in their bedroom, the contract on her nightstand. "If this is what you need," he tells her, "I won't stand in your way. But I need to know, is he part of the appeal?" Anita's answer is honest. "He represents a road not taken. But you, Vernon, you're the road I chose. That hasn't changed." Their embrace signals that whatever comes next, they'll face it together. Episode 41 of Beyond the Gates masterfully weaves together several profound thematic threads that elevate it beyond typical soap opera fare. At its core, this episode explores the tension between authenticity and expectation, a struggle every character faces in their own way. The most prominent symbol throughout the episode is the gate itself, not just the physical barrier surrounding their community, but the metaphorical gates each character has constructed around their true selves. Nicole's perfect party, with its manicured arrangements and careful social choreography, represents the elaborate facade she's built to contain her restlessness. When she escapes to the garden during the climactic confrontations, she's symbolically stepping outside these self-imposed boundaries, allowing her authentic feelings to finally breathe. This symbolism extends to the Westland property Ted purchases. For Ted, it represents his desperate attempt to secure Nicole's happiness and their future together. For Doug, it's the instrument of his downfall. His secret development scheme literally built on shaky ground, much like his ethical compromises. But on a deeper level, Westland represents possibility, undeveloped land waiting to be shaped by intention. The question the episode poses is whether that development will be guided by authentic desire or external expectations. The anniversary celebration itself carries rich symbolic weight. 15 years traditionally represents crystal in anniversary terms, clear, transparent, but also fragile and easily shattered. We see this symbolism play out literally when Doug's glass shatters upon hearing Ted's announcement, but more profoundly in how the veneer of perfection the family has maintained cracks under pressure, revealing the messy truths beneath. Color plays a subtle but important role in the visual storytelling. Notice how Nicole begins the episode in crisp white, the color of perfection and emptiness, but ends in a deep blue robe, suggesting depth and authenticity. Chelsea's bold red dress at the party signals her rebellion, but also her passion and creative fire. Anita consistently wears purple throughout the episode, a color historically associated with royalty, but also with wisdom and transformation, perfectly capturing her position as a family matriarch on the verge of personal renaissance. The episode also explores the cyclical nature of family patterns. Dani's controlling behavior toward Chelsea mirrors Anita's past approach to Dani, just as Doug's ethical compromises echo Vernon's own political moral dilemmas, subtly referenced in his conversation with Ted. The question posed is whether recognition of these patterns allows for their disruption, something we see beginning with Dani's breakthrough with Chelsea. Perhaps most poignantly, the episode examines how dreams deferred shape identity. Anita's abandoned singing career, Nicole's mental health center ambitions, Chelsea's fashion aspirations. Each represents a road not taken or a path interrupted. The episode suggests that the deferral itself isn't necessarily tragic. Rather, it's the failure to consciously choose or regularly reevaluate these decisions that leads to crisis. Now let's explore two compelling fan theories that have emerged from this episode. The first theory, which fans have dubbed the Marcus conspiracy, suggests that Marcus Wells's reappearance is not coincidental but orchestrated. Some viewers have noted subtle clues: his seemingly random invitation to the anniversary party, his immediate connection with Chelsea, his prepared contract for Anita, that suggest he may be working with someone inside the family to destabilize the Dupree dynasty. The most compelling evidence comes from the brief, easily missed moment when Marcus checks his phone after speaking with Anita, and we glimpse what appears to be a text exchange with an unseen conspirator. Could Doug be using Marcus to distract the family from his Westland scheme? Or is someone else pulling the strings? The second theory focuses on Nicole's journal, which fans have named the 15-year secret. Sharp-eyed viewers notice that Nicole's journal entries date back exactly 15 years, to the beginning of her marriage. Some theorize that Nicole has been documenting a long-held secret that could explain her growing distance from Ted. The theory suggests that Nicole's mental health center dream may be motivated by guilt rather than altruism, possibly connected to a patient from her past. Supporters of this theory point to Nicole's reaction to Ted's announcement, not joy, but something closer to panic, and her cryptic comment during their argument, "There are things you don't know about why this matters to me." Could Nicole's perfect life be built on a foundation of professional compromise or ethical breach? What makes these theories particularly compelling is how they connect to the episode's exploration of authenticity versus expectation. If Marcus is indeed manipulating the family, he's exploiting the gaps between who they present themselves to be and who they truly are. Similarly, if Nicole harbors a secret professional guilt, her perfect facade becomes not just a social performance, but a moral disguise. The brilliance of episode 41 lies in how it balances these weighty themes with deeply human character moments. Each revelation feels earned, each confrontation rooted in years of established character history. The episode reminds us that even in the rarefied air of this wealthy enclave, the fundamental human struggles remain the same: the search for authenticity, the weight of expectation, and the courage required to bridge the gap between the two. As we reflect on this pivotal episode of Beyond the Gates, it's clear that the Dupree family stands at a crossroads that will define the series moving forward. Episode 41 masterfully dismantled the carefully constructed facades each character has maintained, forcing them to confront their authentic selves in ways both painful and potentially liberating. The anniversary party, intended as a celebration of stability and commitment, instead became the catalyst for transformation. Ted and Nicole's marriage, once the family's gold standard, now requires honest reconstruction. Their journey forward won't be about maintaining perfection, but embracing imperfection, a profound shift that challenges the foundation of Nicole's identity. Dani and Chelsea's reconciliation represents perhaps the most hopeful development. In acknowledging Chelsea's right to make her own mistakes, Dani breaks the controlling pattern she inherited from Anita. This mother-daughter breakthrough suggests that family patterns, though powerful, can be disrupted through conscious choice and vulnerable honesty. Anita's potential return to music carries enormous implications not just for her marriage to Vernon, but for the family's public image. The Duprees have built their reputation on Vernon's political legacy and their philanthropic work. Anita stepping back into the spotlight would redefine their family narrative in the public eye, potentially exposing them to renewed scrutiny, something Doug, with his ethical compromises, can ill afford. Bill's public admission of medical error marks a turning point for his character. Having hit rock bottom professionally and personally, he now has the opportunity to rebuild with integrity. His estranged wife's willingness to talk suggests that honesty, however painful, creates possibilities that pretense cannot. Doug's exposure as the episode's most compromised character sets up fascinating potential consequences. With Vernon aware of his schemes, Doug faces not just potential legal jeopardy, but a fundamental crisis of identity within the family. Will he follow Bill's path toward redemption through honesty, or will he double down on deception to protect himself? Looking ahead to episode 42, several compelling questions emerge. How will Ted and Nicole navigate the morning after their raw confrontation? Will they begin the hard work of rebuilding their marriage, or will the light of day harden their positions? Anita must decide whether to sign Marcus's contract, a decision complicated by his new connection to Chelsea. Will Vernon's support be enough, or will the lure of reclaiming her past prove irresistible? Chelsea and Dani's fragile reconciliation will face immediate testing as Chelsea moves forward with her independent fashion line. Can Dani truly support her daughter's autonomy, Or will old controlling habits reassert themselves under pressure? And what of Marcus's true intentions? His manipulative comments to Anita suggest he has motives beyond talent management. Perhaps, most intriguingly, Doug's Westland's scheme collapse creates a dangerous desperation. With Vernon aware of his actions and Ted now in possession of the property, Doug may resort to more extreme measures to protect himself. His comment about family fallout suggests he's already planning his next move. The episode's final image, Vernon and Anita embracing as dawn breaks, offers a tentative hope. Their marriage, the family's longest and seemingly most stable relationship, has weathered countless storms. Their ability to face this new challenge with honesty suggests that authenticity, while difficult, provides the only sustainable foundation for love. Beyond the Gates continues to distinguish itself by refusing easy resolutions or villains. Each character, even at their worst, remains understandable if not always sympathetic. The series reminds us that the most compelling dramas arise not from external threats, but from the internal contradictions we all carry, the gap between who we present ourselves to be and who we truly are. As we eagerly await episode 42, one thing is certain. The gates that have contained these characters, both literally and metaphorically, have been irrevocably breached. What emerges from this opening remains to be seen, but the possibilities are as exciting as they are unpredictable. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into episode 41, please hit that like button to help more fans discover our analysis. Share your own theories in the comments. Do you think Marcus is working with someone in the family? What's the secret in Nicole's journal? And subscribe to our channel for weekly breakdowns of each new episode of Beyond the Gates. Like, comment, and subscribe for more.